going to discuss about the visual pathway and the connection of the brain with the human eye. How the signals are transmitted from the brain towards the cerebral cortex or the visual cortex, and how the convergence of the visual signal take place. We're going to discuss in this video. So starting from the brain, in which we have a convergence of a visual signal. For example, if this is a right eye and this is the left eye of a person, the signals from the visual cortex of the right eye will go to converge on the cerebrum, the visual cortex of the cerebrum, in which the signals of a right eye will go to the right side medial or the nasal side of the right eye, while that of a lateral side or the temporal side of the left eye. Same is the case for the left eye, in which the signals will converge on the medial or nasal side of the same eye, that is the left eye, and the signals will converge on the lateral or the temporal side of the right eye. Here you can see these signals are converging from the visual cortex. So from this point we have to remember one point, that the same cerebral cortex of the same eye will going to converge the signal on the medial side, while that for the opposite eye it will going to converge the signal on the temporal side of that eye. So now after converging the signals, these signal will go to converge on the retina. The ganglionic layer of the retina having the rods and cone will going to converge the signals coming from the right eye onto the temporal side, and from the epilateral, if the signals are coming from the right eye on the opposite eye, they will come and converge on the temporal side of the left eye, and for the left eye it has a similar signal on the nasal side. So the eye having the opposite signals on the temporal side and epilateral signals on the medial side will going to converge these signals on the macula of the retina. Now what happens from the retina? These signals converge, and the signals on the medial or the nasal side, that are the signals from the epilateral eye, that have come from the epilateral eye, these signals will going to cross over the optic chiasma. That is the continuation of an optic nerve. If we see below the eye posteriorly, this eye is continuous as an optic nerve, and at the level of optic chiasma, these optic nerve cross the fibers and continue as an optic tract towards the hemisphere. The signals from the medial side of the left eye and the signals from the medial side of the right eye will going to cross onto the opposite side, and now the medial side of the left eye is going to come on the right side, and the medial signals of the right eye will going to converge on the left side, while that of the signals that are the temporal and the lateral signals, they have converged on the lateral or the opposite eye before they are coming towards the optic nerve, that we have discussed in the signals of the right eye come to the left eye temporal part. So this have discussed earlier. So that's why they are continue epilaterally. The temporal signals of the left eye will continue epilaterally into the optic nerve on the left eye, on the left side, and the right eye signals of the temporal area of the retina will continue epilaterally on the right side. So now, until now, you have seen that all the signals from the right side have come to the left side, and the left side will have come to the right side. This happened at the level of the cerebrum and at the level of the optic chiasma, when these nasal signals of the same eye will going to cross and come on the opposite side, while that of the temporal signal have come on the opposite side at the time of visual cortex was giving the signal towards the eye. So now what happens after the decussation and the signals that come epilaterally? Here these signals that are present on the temporal side of the left eye and the temporal side of the right eye is going to converge and synapse with the second order neuron at the level of a optic chiasma. Then the signals will going to continue in the optic tract on the opposite side or the same side. If there is a medial signal, they come to the opposite side, and if they are the lateral or temporal signal, they come to the epilateral same side. Now what happens after they come from the optic chiasma? They continue into the optic tract, that is the continuation of the optic nerve, and they relay at the lateral geniculate body. The lateral geniculate body is a relay station for all the visual signals, and this lateral geniculate body is also very important for gating and controlling the visual signal, that how much of the signals or how low of the signals will enter the cerebrum, because the next part is the entrance of these signal into the visual cortex of the cerebrum to cause the response of the stimulus that we have collected from the visual cortex. So now here you can see, after the gating and the relaying of the signals at the lateral geniculate body, they continue as a fibers of the optic radiation, or they converge at the superior colliculus of the midbrain or the pretectal nucleus of the midbrain to cause the other visual collections and the perception of certain responses related to the visual signal. Now, after this optic radiation have passed from the lateral geniculate body on the both sides, they are going to converge on the visual cortex. The primary visual area, that is area number 17, and the secondary visual area, that is area number 18 and area number 19, are mainly associated with the visual activity and performing the response that is related with the visual system. So this whole pathway is called as the visual pathway, and they carry the signals from the brain towards the eye and ultimately towards the visual cortex. And this way it elicits certain visual reflexes, including the pupillary reflex or the accommodation reflex or other movements that are required with the eye. So I hope you'll be explained well. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more.